I'll post the raccoon photograph previously discussed here in a moment. If you need evidence of Abraham's wildlife, this is a good example of it. I'm Andrew Munson. I'm the editor and founder of New Michigan Press. We publish some of Abe's poems and diagram periodically, and I've known him a long time, since what, '01, I would guess, '01, '02, something like that.
2000.
Yeah. All right, even better. Which actually dates back to the beginning of both New Michigan Press and Diagram. That's when it started. And I was really happy to publish BEAR LITE INN, his new book, in our series at New Michigan Press. And I'm really happy to have him as one of our stable of writers. He's someone that has informed a lot of how I think about poems and how I think about performance. And if you know him and you've seen him read before, you know that he really has the spirit. I used to read pretty badly, I think, as a poet when I would perform. I didn't use the poetry voice quite, but then I saw Abe and I was like, oh shit, clearly like there's something else we could be doing, and really helped me to bring up my game. Something that I've never said thank you for, but I really appreciated that. Showed me a different way of being in the world as a poet. So we're really happy to have him read for us today. And I'm going to introduce briefly, Ryan Ridge is going to, as I mentioned before, author of New Bad News, just out from Saraband. Beautiful, beautiful book, really funny, fucked up stories. If you don't know his work, you should check it out too. And he's going to introduce Abraham here. You're welcome to jump in on the chat as we go, and I'll find a raccoon photograph to post. And so I'll turn it over to you, Ryan. Ryan, you've got your mute. There we go.
There we go. All right. Hey, it's my privilege tonight to introduce Abraham Smith. And last winter, I had the privilege of serving on a committee to elect the next poet laureate of Ogden, Utah. And we, of course, chose tonight's reader, Abraham Smith. And in my recommendation, I'm just going to read what I wrote in that recommendation. I wrote, plenty of talented literary artists write poetry, but Abraham Smith is poetry. He lives it, breathes it, sings it, teaches it, and organizes communities around it. And I think that last bit's very important because I think Abe had been in Utah maybe 2 months before he had 2 reading series up and running, 2 amazing reading series up and running. So not only is he a singular voice and talent, he gets people excited about the business. And like Anders said, he's one of the best readers around. And if you haven't heard him read, you're in for a real treat. It's hard to describe. I don't know. Maybe if you pardon me one simile here, it's kind of like listening to Townes Van Sant channel Hank Williams Sr. on an amplified Ouija board, but it's better than that. Okay, let's get to the official stuff. Abraham Smith is the author of not 1, 2, 3, 6 books of poetry. BEAR LITE INN from New Michigan Press, just out very soon, and Destruction of Man, Third Man Books. And then we have, I'm not even going to try that title, Abe, the last one that Action Books did. And then Only Jesus Could Ice Fish in Summer, again from Action Books. Hank from Action Books. Whim Wham Mammon from Action Books. And one co-authored fiction collection, Tuscaloosa Kills from the Excellent Sport Press. In 2015, Smith released Hit Poetics, Lost Road Press, which is a co-edited anthology of contemporary rural American poetry and related essays. His creative work has been recognized with fellowships in the Fine Arts Work Center in Provincetown and the Alabama State Council on the Arts. He lives in Ogden, Utah, where he is the assistant professor and the co-director of creative writing along with myself at Weber State. So everybody, please welcome the one and only Abraham Smith.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Ander. And thank you to all of y'all who swooped by the Zoom on what is a hot, late afternoon here in Fullerton, Utah. I'll dedicate this reading to my dear pal, Brad Watson, who passed away 13 days ago, and to my grandmother, Monica Detra, whose 1-year death anniversary comes up in 9 days. And I'll also dedicate this reading to the great poet Craig Arnold, whose posthumous work is coming out on New Michigan Press before too long. I'll hop right in. Here are some poems from Bear Lite Inn. I'll just go one to the next without much stopping. So come along and sweat with me. Here we go. Many swept few, money road rage dough, hangs from the backhoe, slaughter air, a simper one. Want one thing to tie you to eternity, as pickaxe and doubles for cane, is work your ass off. Work so entire fox bladders bead on his head, red as the stripped deer. See, he is man, could eyes close, switch back the muscles away. Handles expert every cuss word human invented for flies, pinching little whacks of blood from the tufts of his hands. Knew I know zilch, save sinew, corner stare, eyes pine white, ride wide, save spun by topo, river cold, turtle shell. Since I am boy and shot at by him in blackout mornings, I kneel my hunted skull in the purple-black ball cap of newborn flies, cuts things, piles these, squat on grass, blackberry haze and snaps of flies, bees, gnats, no-see-ums. I remember the bees bump the deer's small body smaller, bees bumping bones, bees come to roost on the sugars of death, and the flies, punctual evil windscreen reptile eye riles, unmade by dogs goating for his obscene cavalier pinwheel tossing off of scraps, whiter and redder, and not anything so much as this home plate, paper plate, ripped to shut, helium leg, hollow never fill, come from wherever the wind just was, nobody's dogs, baby bird hypnotized by cuts of shy muscle, world's largest rubies, worth what we are, worth what we are. These are mainly some really, really old poems that I wrote between 20 and 15 years ago that just kind of kept on like a wood tick crawling up my spine. If you've ever been around where wood ticks are and you know you have one and it's somewhere upon your body, these are old poems that kept on doing their creepy crawl here and there upon my spirit, and I never could quite let them go. So the last 2.5 or so years, I've been going in and chiropracting them and deranging them in some places, and in other places trying to make the stain the water a little clearer. And so this is what this tarnish, rust, burnish back to, I hope, somewhat of a shine has become. Here's another. These are all very Wisconsinated poems, as is most of my work. I'm a very proudly regional sort of fellow. Horsefly, deerfly, snake eyes, maunder, excite, candy the rain, morning lighter, fluid wampum, bear shawl, birch bark cages, waffle god, iron goldenrod, shaky shifter, mumble green, Grandpa Harold's glass eye, Grandpa Max's misled owl crowd, acid rivet, radish tin of chainsaw gas to meat, fake meat, pigweed, porn lore, 20 gauge ramrod asp, 30-06, pimpled with rust, roughness and a shine, callous and a shine. Hand down that steel, braille for in them raspberries when mosquitoes. Crushed-eye, constipated children in 3 pair socks whose mama didn't have a wing for a mouth, no. And all the children, what could these skulls be? Up late by the shit for light bulbs seemed to rain mushroom spit down. What could them be? Why, socks backward, ha ha, Bama, that holly morning by the leaning little pissant tree. Mama face line, world map of rivers wider and grape jelly laughter, shave badger mom. And all the children stank like wild onion all last fall, harder yet and blocky in their motions. Down old snow now on a warped toboggan that mocks the otter chop of a blind man high-fiving himself in a room with 7 walls. A dose of flat soda, a moldy duck on a wall, hat block of government cheese that ain't sun orange and cuts like half the last couple bucks in change. Ma'am, the field's a washed up high school star, stale brag, tobacco, piss, red wing arcing from the tamarack, like a Bloody Mary casual stated in a stupid country Cuervo pirate song. Yes, the fields that creek floods so often never grow a good gold corn. Of the corners, of the eyes, of the seers, there's little to say. Now the moon mouth barks, now money grows short, that TV VCR is next in line to get it. At least you don't have to lead it out back like a dog with a pistol. TV wouldn't come anyway. TV ain't a good TV. The kids say it's good and hold up a finger full of government cheese. Dad lifts his shirt at night. Dad gets a good tan from it. The second wife likes when everybody goes to put out cigarettes on soap opera stars. It's morning now. The sun sure is a bad egg, bed-numb leg. It's morning now, and there's a line frozen in the snow where the TV cord was trying to hold on. He just couldn't make a go. If it's that 18-inch, you're no use in talking, 'cause it's gone, gone. In his shared room here, hookworm neck kid sits quiet as the wind near a man with nothing but his kids. Shy as a swamp buck in a swarm, mind you, of late gnats. It's early boom, boom, booming season. Reaches down, balls a sock, throws it at the wall, picks it up, throws it at the wall, picks it up, throws it at the wall, until it worms from ball to sock again. Nothing more beautiful than the nulled vetch moon, than the lit Marlboro red thrown from the vehicle, nothing. Maybe the 19-year nun at the county fair, her one green eye, sty-free, pans west through the nodding balloons. Gray squirrel is sure to circle a smolder, can't do anything. Crow birds mistake it for broken rabbit, grow the meaner. Turntable, vinyl shatter, suffragette cerulean. The moon, the hurl ball, hurled by a man pregnant with beer, misses everything. What's the matter is we flew. Now here's a little keening news. Vireos pick songbirds from the welcome. Some accelerate mid-flight, for one Merlin's among the falcon family. Or most hawks really hover and dive. Harvesting in 2 shakes, the little makes dawn rile. Here's one for my grandma. Tiny stony bits over the countertop lip, my rag hand fish, my dice hand slips. While I sweep, I'm singing. White hair, her black shoes, the brown smell all day soups came to. Our vodka hearts, our venison chunks, Crisco and cream. her rag hand rocking, cupped hand held open, waiting for cat scraps, for church bells, that perfect shower of sound to the last things. Iced morning fornicator fading to the silo for a shot of booze. Tobacco birds across stainless mooring, liquidator girds on sauce that's sauce to survive. Unseen, unctuous, softest cream. No danger, no eyes. We'd all one feeling weeds in wind be. Elide, look a next birch-nicked fawn, feather-faced dawn, so no calf long. Walked into this world wearing grandpa's skin and learned to count, counting his wrinkles since first bird, with the old abacus called slap a knee with a fucking fallen leaf. Ears born, fires dying, eyes recalled by shrugs of steam. How to say I learned to write with shin blood ink tugged at the teats of graves. See those antlers? I shot him. I was shotgun in the white car. I have ridden on the wheel well of that diesel tractor. Vodka, vodka, oh mercy vodka. Grandpa, grandpa, wheeling in the rot sump leaves. Weird gore, heart dark, earth in. Lay down the hairpin for you heart of pine. That shower, that shim, common burn, cracker limb. Which one ranker, hanky breath or I? Wakes the woods from the grains against the gain in stiffness to hankies. Nil till you paw in numbless. Half-eyed last night cup skunk. Mean slogging in some pure and natural rock fight. And love the unmerciful lifter of strings. And love of family, this dusky swallow bird curve, this merciful scissoring winch, this Swedish hectoring denizen. Sort of a self-elegy well ahead of time, I hope. If I might sense a petering, someone looking at moi, or I at someone as though into a refrigerator bare. Mark me then missing to pauper fare, sweet, sweet swander in and oh to the nursing home. Carrots and car oil and sun-sticky pocket candy for vest mean. Bear jaw, dear, love me. That's the way, plant my feet, toes too small to fool with, maybe step those haphazard in. The VHS stuck in is of the wind aspen freaking. If a toe a seed, a toe a seed, a toey landing, an aspen bending, to toey true. This evening, the dew sends carol, knock on wood, not kerosene, this bruised eye plaintive. Yard lamp shines, sleets, water eye, truer sheen, spat plum pits with a bit of bewitchingly honeyed flesh still on. Non plus plus two, I have Hank on. Allow peppermint to spice a lake in methical glen flora. Long sock circle in chance to boot. And what are the pants sheds? 135 hike spike grave. I know a yearning done for patience. I know a pining doled, one salt crack at a time. Need one for a bobolink, so she use legs soon. Soft fraught lap me. When the next then Alaska can bleep that telemark accident. I keep these fish tint hours tween dusk and sock dark. The bleep being take a wolf to. Now hour one, my great strength, now I'm clean, where I don't think to walk after shines. Night, night, don't ash on me now. Since light is everything, hello, live January, sounding pine bow billets. We need only open our mouths and rush in a sweet, unclench hands and cash, cash, cash. My little prayer to light, dear please, caustic milk always. I was reading a book about hello to Jan back from Germany, and hello to Eric and Ray up there in southern Wisconsin. This is the only research one. The rest of it was just a research called My Tired Life, somewhat as a kid, born old, or however you want to say that, or made old fast. But I was reading a book about written by a self-published book written by a person from Conrath, Wisconsin, and she mentioned this man called Ollie Fink, who was very fond of poisoning the wolves in the counties right around there, and kind of an expert at wolf poisoning. And then one morning he accidentally was mixing up some aspirin powder for a toothache and killed himself with his wolf poison powder. So I thought, well, Mr. Fink, here is your poem. So here is your poem. And this is Ashley Capps really schooled me on this one. I published it long about 2 decades ago in Typo magazine, a great place, and I was grateful to be in it. And I kind of doctored this one quite a lot, and she said, no, go back to where it, go back to the old one. And she sure was right, very wise soul, and I'm honored to know. Thank you to her for the blurb on the back, and to Mark Wunderlich as well. This is the last poem, and it's about a 3.5 minute. We'll get through it together. 1800s, North Wisconsin, leave it to me to work Ollie Fink into the leaven. He was an ass, had eyes like blood-fat wood ticks, wrestled from the worst dog. Old snuff smeared for a beard and a stench like trash. Very famous for killing wolves, killed them clean from 2 counties, Rusk and Taylor, a lot of feed sack tied off puppy howling. That's saying something. He poisoned them. He kept the powder at home. He was a bachelor, so there was nothing stopping him. He shook bare flesh full of poison, and he laid in the bushes during the interminable coughing, and he dragged them warm back home at dark with the northern lights never crass on high. And there it was, he tied 8, 10 beautiful wolves in the glory of midlife, by their necks by the light of the moon, up to wire. Little pistol shit of a cuss of a man, leaning on his shack next to 10 beautiful songwriters, all by the throats. Promised you if I had been the moon snapping milk bleak pictures, I would have said, "I'll, old pal, I'd like to take a second one of you with my rifle," and lowering mine into one crater or other and cocking it, touched the trigger to gravity, bang. Made his bangs gravy. I would have leveled him, bang. F the stories of old world wolves stealing babies. That's bull, and Ollie was too. The old creek low and testy, the new dawn cool, sky warm and wormy, awfully stinky lumbermen, fat wrists swinging, Norwegian ditties winging, fat wrists, lard asses leveling the white pines out of there. He clouded hearing them sawyers singing, not soothing, for they grated on the ache he already had. He felt pain. This is Ollie. Follow me here. Ollie in piebald breeches, piebald with bare greases, suspenders built of wolf tongues, strip stamp knocked the fool howl out of them. Getting harder to keep his oily self up, he slept in suspenders which wart wolf plums. He tried to rest strapped into calcified moon rungs. His tooth hurt good, so reached for pain kill powder, took instead gaffed. He took the wolf poison into his paws, and a pair of rough and ready hands they were, in the wolf urine light of half dawn, with Norwegian lard asses already singing. His two bulky prey, never snakehead hands that shined a little like something fresh varnished or yanked from water or pried from birthing matter. Old Ollie drank the shit down with a draw of rusty creek water in the half-life of dawn, with lumberjacks singing now, plaintiveful now, joyful birds, riding one, sun like a drunk on a stump, with nothing but unkindness left to churn. Old Owl performed a little work. I think he pulled a weed out from the ground. He, Ollie Fink, solo low burrow killer, took it in his head to lay down. Tried to, then fell by his plankboard bed. They found him cold and down. Old tough-ass Fink, some there were claimed it was his buttons. They were always poison spidered. Somewhere, a lone baby wolf applauds gangbusters, performs a lewd jig in the dust Ollie used to spit. Only things asked us that we don't mind the descent and lengthen the harness some. Thanks, y'all. Bear Light In.
Thanks, Abe. That was awesome.
Cheers, cheers. Thank you for reading this and giving me the chance to do some sweating down here on 22nd Street.
I love also how we could watch like your desk or whatever you have, like sort of, you were reading so hard, like that the camera was shaking, which is nothing less than I would expect, of course.
The old metronome carries on.
So thank you so much for coming. It's really nice to see some folks that I know and some folks that I don't know. And I know some of you have ordered the book. I remember because I do a lot of the order handling myself from New Michigan Press. So thank you so much for coming out. If you haven't picked up the book and you'd like to pick it up, you can go to newmichiganpress.com. You could also order it from your local bookstore, who for sure could use the business right now. And if you don't have a local bookstore, you could order it from Antigone Books here in Tucson. They ship and they're great. And we'd like them to survive the pandemic, as I would like the rest of you to survive, both health-wise and in terms of your art. Without further ado, then maybe we'll call it a day. This was a fantastic reading. Really happy to have Abraham's work with us in the world and in your memories now, if this is the first time that you've heard him do his thing. So thanks again, Abe, for reading for us.
Thanks so much, Andrew, and thank you to all of y'all for hanging out here on whatever hour it is where you are this fine evening. And I'll be hustling over to the place from whence these poems come, Ladysmith, starting tomorrow. So catch me over on Facebook or Instagram to see some photos of all that ramshackle delight up that way. Be well, y'all. Take care. Stay safe.
Safe travels.
Cheers.
Cheers, y'all.